Hello, 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 and welcome to You've Got a Thing, an interview thing about Milwaukee theater things. My name is Jaimelyn Gray. I am here to walk you through some things happening this weekend. If you can make it out, oh man, have we been dealing with some weather around here in southeastern Wisconsin? Well, actually, just from what I understand, it's actually just all over the state of Wisconsin. We're in the week here of Thursday, April 16th, and man, between rehearsal and the wicked weather, I am not sleeping very well at this moment in time. So I think if you were with us last week, Michael Unger and I were talking about just brain space and how limited it can be when you're getting into these final weeks of showtime. I, of course, am about to open Bug with my company, The Constructivists, over at the Broadway Theater Center. We'll open that next weekend. So we're in crunch time right now, and that and the weather are just whoa, something else. But I will try to be as present for you as humanly possible, and get some events in your brains so that you can hopefully get out and see some things. We were supposed to have an art spin meeting this morning over at Next Act Theater, and I guess they've had some flooding over there again. So big hugs out to that crew over there that they can make sure that the space is back to normal, because they're going to open and now my brain just shut down. See how that works? See how that goes? Just blah, and just goes wah wah wah. Dinner with the Duchess. They're gonna open also next week. No, yes. Yes. We got this, friends. We got this. Okay, so anyway, let's I've got a great interview for you today with one of my favorite people, Jill Anna Ponasik of Milwaukee Opera Theater, artistic director over there at Milwaukee Opera Theater. They're doing a one night only event that's Follies in concert, and so I had a great discussion with her yesterday about that, and so I'll pass that along to you. But first, let's get to some other things so that you can plan your calendar accordingly for this weekend. So first, here we have this is gonna close this weekend. This is gonna close on Sunday, so make sure that you have that on your radar. Mamma Mia, the musical that just will not stop. It has all the legs in the world, because people just seem to really enjoy this show. I will be honest, I have never seen it. I do love ABBA. I do. It's just something about this show that it's sort of always available that I'm like, I'll get to it. I'll get to it. And so I hope that you can get to this, because again, it's just one that people really enjoy. And so a lot of company like Skylight did it last year, and now Forte Theater Company is doing it this year to some great success. So kudos to them. But if you don't know the story behind the musical, it's hilarious, and it's about a woman's search for her birth father, and it takes place on a Greek island in paradise, and hilarity ensues. And so you can go to Forte Theater, that's a TRE company.org for tickets and more information on that. That's out in Franklin. They operate out at the Sabre Center out there, and you can find much more at their website, fortetheatrecompany.org. So there you go on that. Next we have then Speaking of Michael Unger, A Rockin' Midsummer Night's Dream is now open and running. You can check out the interview from that from last week on our social medias, and I always have a good talk with him. But this is something that has a great backstory to it of how it was developed. This is actually its professional world premiere, but it had other productions before this on the East Coast, and Michael Unger talks about that in our interview from last week. So go and find that. Just a really great guy to listen to. But it's Shakespeare's beloved comedy, but they infused it with music and lyrics and all of that, and so it's just Ryan J, the wonderful and amazing media personality Ryan J, just posted something recently that it's the must-see event of the spring, and so I would look into it. So that's Skylight Music Theater. That's also theatre.org to find out more information about how this all came about and how to get your tickets and all of that, and have fun with that. And so there you go for that. Then we also have Schmitz and Giggles has their Improv 22 coming up. This is a regular event that they put out every once in a while. I don't know what their exact schedule on this is. I've never asked Patrick about it, but they're having it this Saturday at 7 p.m. at Comedy Sports. You can check out more information on the website at schmitzandgiggles.org and just find out more about that organization, because Patrick Schmitz is such a cool guy. Which is a wonderful human. And but you can pay $10 in cash or credit at the door. This is a door payment. They don't have things set up on their website to reserve on the website. So get your butt to the Comedy Sports on First Ave there in Milwaukee, and schmitzandgiggles.org for any more information that you need about that company. So there you be on that. And then we have our favorite Interchange Theater Co-op persons. They always have weekends filled with improv and fun, and this weekend is no different. So they actually have shows tonight too, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday of this week, and they have their open mic on Sunday nights at 6 p.m. So if you want to try out your own things, you should head over to their website at interchangetheater.com for that. But for this week, they've got on Friday, they've got Off the Leash featuring Forecast at 7:30 p.m. And that's who's a good dog? You are. That's their marketing. I think it's awesome. And you're invited to join Off the Leash at the neighborhood dog park, where you'll get to meet the eccentric residents and their litter of furry friends. Sounds fun. And then Forecast is unpredictable, just like the weather. Don't we know it around here lately? Enjoy a flurry of scenes that set up atmospheric conditions for a perfect storm of improv fun. Then tomorrow night they'll have Cringe featuring Hot Mess High at 7:30 p.m. And then on Saturday they'll have Glitter Bomb featuring Fractal, which is something that a group that they have on the regular over there. So all of their shows are 7:30 p.m. And you can find more information about that at interchangetheater.com. You can get tickets at the website for this group of hooligans, and find more information on the website for that. So interchangetheater.com for that journey. Then we have, I just wanted to put this out here. We still have a couple spots available for we, as in the Constructivists, as in my company, have some spots open still for our Michael Chekhov study and scene work for this year. This was really what really was a big hit last year. Michael Chekhov's technique is really interesting and involves really your whole body and breathing system. And we thought it would be a huge benefit to the community, and something that Laura Sturm, who is my buddy for almost 20 years now, comes up from Chicago on the regular to help us out here at the Constructivist. Wonderful human being. Met her doing work in Chicago some years ago now. And we have payment plans available for this. If you need to spread them out, we can also research scholarship options and things like that. It's 6 weeks only, fast and furious. And again, we've got a few spots open here, so we'd love to get you in there and show you some Michael Chekhov stuff. That's at theconstructivist.org. You can go one step further and do /classes, and that'll take you right to where you need to go. And I hope to see your face. And there's also information if you need to reach out or any questions or whatever, you can also reach out to us through the website for any questions you might have. So there you go on that. A couple spots left. Come play with us. And then just one last thing here. Amanda Hull is one of my favorite persons. Just a superhuman being. She and her husband run an event space called the Brick House on the North Side. It's a super cute, intimate space to produce lots of things. You can do auditions, you can do readings, you can do, bridal party things. You can do a whole bunch of stuff, and they've got a whole bunch of information on their website to tell you more about that. It's a great little venue. It's the brickhousemke.com to find out more information about that. Amanda Hall's a great person to work with and spend some time with. So I would make that happen if you need a space. Yeah. So there you go. That's what we got for that side of the presentation. Yeah, those are the other company events happening this weekend. Actually, since Milwaukee Opera Theater's FOLLIES isn't until next week, you have space to make this happen in your life this weekend. So get out your calendar and make little notes and get your tickets and all the things, and go and get some theater community in your life. We are good peoples and can bring some good vibes into your existence, and Lord knows we need that, all of us, in our lives. And so there you go. So that's what we got for this weekend. But let's get to that interview with Jill Anna. So smart she is. And so here we go with that now. Okay, with me today is one of my favorite people of all time, Jill Anna Ponasik of Milwaukee Opera Theater, one of the busiest people as well. So thank you for on top of everything, squeezing this in. So
right back at you, Jaimelyn Gray of the Constructivist.
Yeah. So we're gonna talk about FOLLIES in. Are you calling it FOLLIES in Concert? Is that like the official title? Like, how does
that is the official title?
Okay. That's what I need to check that for myself.
That is the official title. I can share that. Well, FOLLIES is one of those shows that exists in like 29 forms. So as you look at different productions that have been done throughout the last 50 years, the character names change. The basic premise remains the same, but song lists come and go. So there is a lot of fluidity. But the concert version tracks quite steadily right alongside the full-length version. So it's kind of funny because I was like, when we licensed the concert version and I started looking through, and it was like, it appears to me that everything is in here. So
Do you get to cut things then? Like, can you?
No, you're not allowed to do anything once
Mhm.
it's you gotta do
Can't
what's
touch
right.
it. Can't
Don't
do
touch
it.
it. You can't
Don't.
touch it.
Don't. All right. Well, it since it's been a second. Actually, it's only been about a month since you've been here.
Right. Yeah.
Which is just magical.
Well, we put these were back to back for us, which is a little like,
Yeah,
"Ah."
yeah.
Yeah.
That's yeah. I know about the back-to-back productions. It's hard. Uh, can you just tell people's out there in the internet lands the gist of Milwaukee Opera Theater for
Oh,
those who do not?
yeah.
3 sentences.
3 sentences. Milwaukee Opera Theater is a small artist-led organization in Milwaukee that specializes in musical storytelling. And basically, every project we do, unless we're remounting something, is an experiment. So it's something we've never done before. So I'd say those are the music theater and highly experimental
The main tenants,
would
and
be.
you all produce out of multiple locations. You're just sort of here, there, and everywhere as well.
Yeah, that's part of the doing something we've never done before. So like with every project, we with every we're always trying to hit that growth zone as an organization where we're stretching ourselves but not so far that we all lose our minds. So
The thin line,
the
the
thin
thin
line, it can be a
line
very
that is.
thin line, but if you dissect any particular project, you'll see like Follies is a piece that exists. We know it's excellent. Like the piece itself is very solid.
Yeah.
And then we're extending ourselves in terms of the way that we're producing it. So we're
Okay.
stretching into the unknown there. Sometimes we're writing an original work and we might be in a venue that's familiar to us, but we're doing a piece that's never existed before. And so there's a different experiment going on there.
That's awesome. So is this your last thing this year?
Yeah.
This season? Okay. Okay. I thought it
Other
was.
than, of course, educational programs, voice labs, and a fundraiser.
Sure, sure. Yeah. Outside of, but you're just from a production standpoint, this is the last one. And it's one night only,
Yep, we open and close on April 29th.
which is a Wednesday.
It is a Wednesday.
And I'm gonna try my hardest to make it there because we do not perform bug on Wednesdays.
I did schedule it just for you.
I figured as much.
Yeah,
Everybody needs me at their thing, of
right.
course. Right. So what for people who don't know this production, which can be a lot, I'm not all that familiar with it either.
I
Can you?
wasn't until I started digging deeper. It was not like a show that I listened to on repeat growing
Oh,
up or
okay.
anything like that.
Well, how did you come across it then? Like what was the process of?
As with many of our projects, a couple artists in town mentioned Follies
Oh, okay.
just in conversation or wouldn't it be fun if, and then I I listened to it on a car ride to the Twin Cities, and
Oh,
I was very intrigued and wanted to learn more about it, and then a few things began to align story-wise where I thought this year might be the right year for these people to work on this story together. So
nice.
that's what led us toward Follies. And I
Nice.
was I was surprised. I love Sondheim and I'm very familiar with many other Sondheim works, but this was one that had like fallen through the cracks for me.
Okay.
So, like I said, I didn't know it intimately until I began working on it. But as I was listening on that first car ride, it was like there are so many iconic Sondheim songs that are from Follies that I had no idea were from Follies. So, and it
Oh,
like,
sure.
yeah. So it's just like, oh. So I knew half the score very familiarly
Yeah.
as standalone songs, but I didn't know how they were integrated into this story.
I'd be
Like,
interested. I would be interested to look at that as well because because Sondheim is so just Sondheim that
yeah.
you're like, oh my god, I know this.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, you've heard at least half of the songs
Sure.
many times, many times.
Sure. So what's the gist of the tale?
The gist of the tale is that the owner, the operator of a vaudeville Follies, is hosting one last reunion 30 years after the Follies closed. The theater is going to get torn down and turned into a parking lot, and he throws one last party to gather people and celebrate what they made together and tell stories and lie about ourselves a little, he says. And at that reunion, there are four characters who are in a love have been in a love tangle as young people, and now 30 years have passed. They've married, and they're all reconsidering their life choices at the reunion, and they're all confronting both the people that they didn't marry, that they haven't seen in a long time, and their younger selves. So there is a ghost slash memory slash nostalgia component where as they are in the space of the theater again, and as they're seeing the people that they worked with and the boys and girls that they loved when they were 20, now they're haunted by the choices that they've made and reckoning with them. So it's like it's a big middle-aged show.
This sounds so true to life, even if it is like a musical and Sondheim. Like, how many stories do we see, and how much do we know that? I've got my 30th high school reunion
Yeah.
coming up this year, and it just not like I was a loser in high school, so not like I have anybody that I need to be like, oh, I wish we had gotten. I don't have anybody like that, but it is true to life in lots of ways. Yeah.
Oh God, yeah. I think, yeah. Like I mean, there is a thread of darkness for sure, and the couples are cruel to each other, but it also tracks metaphorically with like all of the bumps of life. The like not just it's about marriage, but it's about much more than that too.
Well, but Sondheim is really good at that. I mean, that's
Yeah,
why he's been
yeah.
so successful in this lifetime. There are so many aspects of stories of so many of his projects that people feel like they know and understand.
Yeah. So there are kind of two shows going on at once. So one is basically just the simple show of these four characters who were entangled as youth, who are seeing each other again 30 years later and wondering if there's still something there, or you know what have they done these last 30 years. And then you have everyone else who's at the reunion. So as the four are going through their drama of the evening, other showgirls and people from the past like stride up to share a song, like a show-stopping song, and they're all also in their own way telling their life stories of what has happened to them over 30 years, or their face looks different in the mirror now than it did when they were 20, or right, but they're kind of like outside that central story, and they just intersect through chit chat. So it's beautifully structured. Like it is really cool and really fun to pull apart and look at the individual pieces and then try and like knit them back together into a whole. It's been a cool adventure for sure.
Nice. So, but for this project, the staging and whatnot is a concert version of.
Yes. Yes. Um
Yes, but
the the overall idea, like the central idea. So we've rented a wedding venue.
of
So
course you have.
yeah, so
Of
we're
course you
doing
have.
it. Yeah.
Office space to wedding venue, like you do.
Um And the idea is that everybody in the space is attending the reunion, including including the audience. So So many of the performers are seated at tables with audience members. Audience will overhear them in their small talk to each other. And then there's a presentational area that is like our set, where it is much more than a reading where we would have artists at music stands. This will be, to an extent, fully produced with movement and lighting and sound. But then it's minimized in other ways. Like, our set is the architecture of the building. Like, we're not
Yeah.
building a set in the building. It just
Yeah.
is the building. And costumes are, everyone is dressing as they would dress to attend a reunion, right? So we're trying to blur the distinction a bit between audience and artist, so that that's really fluid, and blur the distinction between past and present, so that those are just kind of soft, fuzzy things that shift this way and that throughout the evening.
So, can I come to this thing in formal attire for 1996?
Yes.
Okay. Good.
If your
Good.
dress still fits, yes.
Good. Yeah.
And I think there will be an array. Some of the showgirls are very flouncy showgirls, and they'll be
Okay.
shiny. Others are not that personality, and they will be dressed more casually. So
Okay.
I think it'll be a very eclectic gathering.
What artists you got on this team? Because I've seen some social media things here and there and everywhere, and
It's very big. It's 22. The cast is 22.
yikes!
A lot of,
Yikes!
it's a lot of people wrangling for
Yikes!
our tiny team, which is just me and a stage manager.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
the shit I'm talking. That's the stuff I'm talking about, man.
it's a lot. It's a lot. But we're so one of the things that I'm the most excited about, that this is the heart of the experiment of this project for us, is, can we create a reunion that the audience is invited to, that is actually a reunion? So
Oh,
it seems to be tracking along the lines of our goal right now. There are people who haven't performed in years, who went to college together, who were in shows in the 80s together, that have been out of touch. And some of those people are buying tickets to see their old friend. So I'm like, that's my ultimate goal, is that it's like a love letter to the theater community and the people who've made theater here for a long time, and that there will be a lot of genuine connections, so that it is both a fake reunion and a real reunion at the same time. Easy.
so fun. That's so much fun.
That's what we hope. We won't know until the 29th if it works, and we're only going to try it once, but that's
Yeah. I have challenges in theater production that I feel super guilty. Like when we do Deadly Holiday over the holidays, we only do 2 weekends, or I think this past, did we do only one? We only did 1 weekend this past weekend. And I feel like for all that rehearsal that you put into that process, you're shorting the artists in a certain way. Do you have any of that guilt? I feel guilty about that.
I understand. I don't know if I would I don't know if it's necessarily, I feel guilt. I was raised Catholic, so I feel guilty about tons of
Yes.
stuff all the time.
Yes.
I don't feel that feeling as guilt,
Okay.
but I can share that with every, so we're always messing with our production models to see if we can make them work better every time, right? Like, we're always changing variables and shifting things.
Yeah.
And
Same.
And that's one of the things that we're always playing with. Like, from the very beginning, this was always planned as a one night only project, like once we decided to do it and once we were able to make it math properly between financial expenditures and what we thought we might be able to sell on the income side of things in terms of space and, you know, all of the
All of the things.
all of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, when we looked at doing it more, then the math didn't math as well.
Huh.
Um,
Interesting.
yeah. So every project
Yeah.
is different. Like we would have had to create a different concept in a less expensive venue with fewer people if we wanted to run it longer. But if we're going to do it this way, we kind of have to put all our eggs in one basket and just go for it.
It's so interesting.
Yeah, it's
It's just
complicated.
interesting from a producer standpoint that the math doesn't math when you do it more. Like that's so interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
But give me some names. Who are
Okay.
some of
You
your
want
people?
names?
You don't have to name all 22 people. Sorry, 22 people. I'm just looking at, just give me
Well,
some.
Mr. Bob Balderson is
Mr. Bob
playing
Balderson is
is
doing the
playing
thing,
Dimitri Weissman, the owner of the theater who's hosting the party. So
which is very exciting. It seems like this is like his second production in a row
I
or
know.
something like that. Like
I know.
he's
He
like,
has some lines in this one.
oh,
Uh,
okay, okay,
but
okay.
but yeah, James Zager, dear friend from for decades now, is choreographing, and
Nice,
Simone Farrow from UWM is dancing with James. So they're like our dancey couple.
nice.
David Flores and Diane Lane and Marcy Doherty and Kay Stiefel and Marilyn White and Max Williamson and Shane Staliga and youngins Nathaniel Contreras and Rachel Zintek, Matthew Torkelson and Anna Gross is lots of people. Andrew Varela, Kathy Pyatt, Kurt Bardell, and Lynette Knapp, to name a few.
And that's also interesting because a lot of artists can commit to one night. That they're like, oh, we're going to do it one night, and we've got this number
That
of
is part of
rehearsals.
it. That is,
Yeah,
and the design team as well.
that's awesome.
You
It's
know,
just
and
it's just you're so smart.
it's
You're just so smart.
you're too kind, but that is one of the this is wonkier theater wonkishness, but part of it is the resources you tie up by hosting a show. so so
Yeah,
if you're doing it more often, then you have to put days off in for your artists, but then you've got equipment sitting there underutilized for the days off. Like the math changes. So even like we talked about this for Camille's Rainbow, but I would love to do that show for only Saturdays for 2 months and fill up every single performance, but you have to rent an expensive projector by the day,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know? So you do
That's
things
real.
like program a Monday at noon that not that many people come to, um, because because the resources of the space and the equipment is sitting there underutilized. So I feel like that's one of your basic theater puzzles. Like if you can reach a point where you've got complementary programming happening in a space all day long every day, like,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. We need to, you have to have yoga classes
yeah,
during.
yoga classes and then a kids show and then the evening performance and they all,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. We'll make it happen someday.
I'm
So
sure that we will figure it out.
we will figure
Oh,
out the conundrum,
absolutely.
and all will be well, and everyone in the world will use our model, and it will be
And they'll
fantastic.
be like, "Man, you finally got it." Yeah.
You did it. You did
Yeah.
it, smart people. Yeah. So I think we've put out a lot of reasons why people should see this show. I mean, it's Sondheim. You've got tons of like, well Milwaukee well-known personage that are doing this one night thing. Well, why do you think is like what to you speaks as to why people should see this?
It's definitely, no matter what happens, right? Like no matter where we land on the success meter, it will be an unforgettable event.
Yeah,
We may all go down in flames, but you'll remember it. You
but
won't be
you'll
bored.
remember it for
Yeah,
sure.
you for sure won't be bored. It's a stunning score. It is rarely produced. So I know for a lot of people who are Sondheim geeks, it's exciting to try and catch this one.
Nerds bought ticket the first day it was
Yeah,
on sale.
yeah, 100%. So that's special. For me, it is actually, it's deeply personal because I am the same age as the principal characters, and muddling through my life with the choices that I've made and the paths taken or not taken. And there is a specific kind of weightiness to that middle of life chapter that this piece is
God is
all
there.
about. And so I feel called to it in a very personal way by just like wrestling along with these characters with what does life mean, and why do we do what we do. So,
And
if you're interested in that.
that is why theater art rules.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
Duh. Wrestle with that stuff. Wrestle with it.
Just sit there.
Wrestle. Yeah. Yeah. Well, like I said, I'm going to really do my best to pull myself out of bed after opening weekend. Hopefully by that Wednesday I will be fully recovered
Yeah.
from the hellstorm that is bug. Um and be able to enjoy I enjoy Sondheim myself, just because it's just so good. Like he's just so good at what he does, and that's the end of it. Like you don't have to be a huge musical theater fan to understand that Sondheim is Sondheim for a reason,
Yeah.
right?
I had never done this before, but in preparation for this one, I retyped the whole script to to get rid of, I wanted because we have very limited rehearsal time, I wanted the script that will be in people's hands to be as oriented toward our production as possible. So I took out like all the stage directions that have to do with the full production,
Oh,
and added stage directions that are more like ours, like Dimitri will cross to a 10 top table, like, because that's what our set will look like. But in retyping it, and it just would make it cleaner, and then yeah, in retyping it, boy, do you feel lyrics differently when your fingers are rewriting them than when you're just listening to them or reading them. Like those internal rhymes and that masterful like uh balance, right? Like Sondheim lyrics are just so perfect. Like they're weirdly perfect because he worked so hard to get every detail just so. And like you notice more things about them when you're typing them than if you're just like singing through the song. You're like, those vowels match perfectly. And they're tucked in the middle of this really long line.
you're so smart.
So
You're just so smart.
you're funny
I am. Yes. Yes.
and smart.
Uh and so if people want to get tickets, they can go to MilwaukeeOperaTheater.org, and that's a TRE at the end of there. That's a theatre.
Yeah, treat.
And how much are your tickets?
Tickets are 45, and I think we have a couple 65 left.
Nice.
And they include a drink ticket.
Oh, nice. Awesome. And I think I saw somewhere in the text somewhere that does include non-alcoholic drinks as
Yep.
well.
Beer,
Yes.
wine, and non-alcoholic.
Yay.
So
Yay.
it's a
For the
party.
sober folks. Yeah. Awesome. And And we were just talking before we hopped on. You're really well on your way. So if you want to get tickets, you should get tickets. You should just
Yeah, just
I
do it.
I would really advise you to not wait until the last minute, because there's a lot of people who are very interested. I have all through my Facebook feed all my friends who are like, they're interested, or they're going, or they're this that. I have so many people. So this is really an event that you don't want to wait until the last minute. I'm just calling it.
Thanks, Jaimelyn.
Yeah, yeah. Love you,
I can't
lady.
wait to see Bug.
Oh, yeah, yeah. It's a monster. It's just a monster. And so next year, I'm looking at stuff for next year, and I'm like, we're gonna scale back a bit, friends.
Yep.
This season was a huge,
Yep. We've done that. Like we haven't
huge.
done we've done big projects like Follies in the past, but it's been a long time because
Yeah,
you do need recovery time after an expenditure like that. Yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
the definite ebb and flow kind of thing. And so yeah, after this, I think I need to give our team just a little bit of a breath of fresh air and relaxation, because yeah, you'll see it when you see it. Just be like, what the hell? Yeah.
I can't
So
wait.
yes. Anyway, but first, go and get your tickets for this, and then go and see Bug and all the other things that are out there in the Milwaukee universe right now. So thank you so much, lady.
Thank
Again,
you,
I
Jaimelyn.
know how busy you are, and so but I'm always glad to see your face.
Ditto. Ditto. Thank you for the opportunity to chat.
Yeah, always. And we'll talk more soon.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
All right.
I love her so much. I love the Jill Anna Ponasik. So many. Yeah, we just have so many good human women leaders in this community. Sort of, pat myself on the back with that too. Uh, Although I have my demons inside my brain, but that's for another talk for another time. And she is among the best of them. Really, just is so smart and kind and generous, and really really knows what she's doing with Milwaukee Opera Theater, and they really put such wonderful things and bring together such wonderful artists for wonderful productions. So I have a feeling this will be no different. I'm going to try my best to squeeze it in next week, Wednesday, April 29th. I'm going to do my best. I might end up like sending Jill Anna a text at last minute, just going, woman, I cannot do it. But she has so many great people. I shouldn't say that. I'm going to do my best. So there you go. That's what we've got for this week. Next week, I'm going to bring somebody on. I'm going to try and bring Maya and see if I can get Maya to squeeze in for an interview. Maybe Joe, maybe just a couple of people. Maybe we'll just have a gaggle of people for a discussion uh, on Bug for the constructivists. Since we're on the calendar next week to come and talk about that, we're gonna open that next week, Saturday, April 25th, at the Broadway Theater Center, and hopefully you can join us for that, because it is a ride. Let me tell you, huh? I'm a little worn out from the ride, from making the ride happen nightly in rehearsal. So there we go. But I'm going to find some people to bring on and have a nice little chat about that next week. So, but that's what we got for this week. I'm so happy that you join me. Please share the word about this show. I do my best to amplify as best I can, and I hope it's a really helpful utility to people out there to know what's going on a weekly basis, and within the Milwaukee Theatre Alliance to make that stuff happen. But if you have any questions or thoughts or needs or whatnot, you can reach me at info@nikita.org. Or if you need to reach somebody else in the Theater Alliance, I can also forward emails. Technology is amazing, and get to that to whoever you need to get that to. So info@mketa.org for any questions, thoughts, concerns, needs. And there you go. There you have it. That's what I got for this week anyway. So hope to see you next week on You've Got a Thing. You've got a thing. You've got a thing. Okay, bye.